Hey guys, it's Haley and welcome to another bookish video. Today I'm going to be getting into my June TBR. And as a Gemini, June is my favorite reading month. It is my birthday month. It is the month that I pretty much just mood read whatever the hell I want to, because this month is all about me. As a double Gemini, I can say that. But before we get into all the books that I want to read this June, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Book of the Month. Y'all know how excited I get when I see this little blue box show up at my door. Book of the Month, if you don't know, is a bookish subscription service where every month you get to pick one of 5 to 7 new and sometimes early releases that you want to take home for the best price that I have ever seen for a new release hardcover book. This month, as you can see, I got The Whispers by Ashley Audrain, and she started it by Cian Gilbert. These are both thriller picks. This one was one of the main picks, and then this one is an add-on, which I was super excited about because I loved The Push by Ashley Audrain, although I'm not sure if this one is available everywhere because it is an add-on, so this is the main thriller pick this month. But of course, there are tons of other picks. Book of the Month truly always has something for every type of reader. They have a lot of diversity in their picks, and I really appreciate that, especially as someone who's always trying to discover a new author and more diverse authors. I have discovered so many favorites through Book of the Month. So if you want to start your Book of the Month subscription, you can get your first Book of the Month for only $9.99 with code SPLASH this June. That is code SPLASH. It will be down below with my link. If you want to try out Book of the Month, today is the day. I love them so much. And honestly, managing the subscription side of it is really easy. All of their reps are really kind. You can pause at any time and you won't get charged. Absolutely love every single part of Book of the Month, and they are now available in Canada as well, which makes me so happy. So check them out down below, and thank you so much again to Book of the Month for sponsoring my June TBR. Now let's go ahead and get into the books. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a ton of mood reading in June. So I'm not going to set out any specific books for vlogs or anything like that. Y'all are just kind of going to get vlogs of what I feel in the moment. But I do have one book that I specifically read every single month because it is for my book club. My Patreon Pretty Girl Book Club pick this month is The Senator's Wife by Liv Constantine. We've already had a past book pick from Liv Constantine, and most of us absolutely loved it. So I'm excited to get into them again. I love their work. Last Mrs. Parrish is one of my favorite domestic thrillers of all time, which I think we all know around here if you've been watching this channel for any length of time. So I'm super excited to get to their new release. This one follows 2 political figures, a man and a woman, and both of their spouses died in some like tragic accident, something went wrong and they passed away. And now a year later, they're marrying each other, which is suspicious. But on top of that, the woman has lupus, which we love to see chronic illness representation. And we have reason to believe as a reader that her live-in carer is doing something nefarious. So it sounds like there's a lot of juicy domestic drama, political intrigue, thrilling twists. If I know anything about Liv Constantine, I am super excited that my patrons voted on this pick for June. And of course, if you want to read along with me in June, I always have my Patreon link down below. Come hang out, join my book club. It is so much fun. And as for the rest of my TBR, these are just the books that I have pulled for like a little section for this month. When I mood read off of my big shelves, I get a little overwhelmed. So I just have a smaller stack to pull from this month. And The Whispers is included in that. As I mentioned in the sponsorship portion, I absolutely love Ashley Audrain. I actually discovered her debut through Book of the Month, and I loved The Push. I love a creepy kid book. If you're looking for one of those, The Push is great. And you can also get it for $9.99 as an add-on for Book of the Month, just saying. This synopsis though, I'm living for it. It's giving summer suburban thriller with well-to-do neighborhood couples gathering for a barbecue, and everything is fabulous until the picture-perfect hostess explodes in fury because her son disobeys her. Everyone at the party sees her exquisite veneer cracking. And before long, the same young boy falls from his window in the middle of the night. Did she kill him? We're gonna have all the neighborhood moms whispering about it, I'm sure, and I cannot wait to find out. Next up, let's get into a romance pick. I bought this book last year specifically to read this June, and I got the recommendation from Deja, from Deja's Book World, Deja's Book Library, Deja's Book... Y'all know my friend Deja. If you don't, subscribe to her. I'm going to link her channel down below. She is phenomenal. She puts so much work into her videos, and it shows. They're amazingly done. And she recommended me 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This is a romance, whirlwind romance about two people, a single mom and best-selling erotica writer, and a reclusive award-winning novelist. They meet unexpectedly at a Black literary event and sparks are flying, but 15 years earlier, they actually spent one crazy torrid week madly in love. So they're like reconnecting after so long. Oh my God, I cannot wait. And obviously it takes place in June, so I have to read it in June. And because I absolutely loved The Perfect Ruin this past month, I cannot wait to rave more about it in my wrap up, but I read the whole thing with full thoughts in my Black author thriller reading vlog. So if you missed that, I will link it above and below. Because I love The Perfect Ruin so much, I want to read more from Shonora Williams. So I have The Wife Before. And this is about a woman who meets this man and she's like, I'm just gonna steal him from his wife. It's fine, it's no big deal. So she replaces her, but the bitch I'm gonna steal your life plot came before. Now we're following her as she's thinking that her new boo might have in fact killed his wife and she may be next. I am so ready to dive back into Shonora Williams' writing. I absolutely love her writing style. It's juicy, it's salacious, it's twisty. Next up, I have Milk Fed by Melissa Broder. And I've heard from y'all that this is a weird one and it's gonna be right up my alley of the type of weird that I like. It's queer, it's smutty, it's trippy. That is what I want. I really don't know what the plot is, even though I've heard so many people talk about it. It's described as a scathingly funny, wildly erotic, and fiercely imaginative novel about food, sex, and God. I honestly don't know, but I'm very intrigued. And jumping back into romance, I have Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I cannot wait to read this. I loved Every Summer After. It was probably my favorite romance that I read all summer last year. And I'm looking for the same kind of vibes from Meet Me at the Lake. It has kind of a similar plot to 7 Days in June, where this couple met, spent time together, but it was just like bad timing. They absolutely fell in love instantly, and then years and years later, they're reconnecting. But in this one, whereas in 7 Days in June, they like didn't try to reconnect. In this one, they said, you and me in 1 year, don't let me down. It's gonna be emotional. I just know I'm gonna sob, and I'm kind of ready for that. Jumping back into thrillers, but staying on the summer vibes, I have Never Coming Home by Kate Williams. This is giving all of the influencer reality show island vibes. Basically, these 10 influencers get sent to this island and they get picked off one by one. It's a mysterious resort launching a viral marketing campaign, and the world is watching as it opens its doors. But what they don't know is they weren't invited to Unknown Island for their following. They were invited for their secrets, and now it's payback time. I just know this is gonna be so juicy and just like some kind of drama bullshit. And I don't want to see these influencers die. I'm gonna be real. I don't identify, like, I know that technically I'm an influencer, but I don't identify with the term. So I can't wait to see these bitches die. I've gone to one too many influencer events where I would like it to be like this because y'all. Next up, I'm giving Darcy Belle another try. Maybe I'm dumb for this, but I can't help it. I want to like her so much. So I'm going to read her new release, Woman of the Year. And this is following two best friends, and their female friendship turns toxic, as it often does in a juicy thriller like this, because of their relationship to this older woman, this professor. Something happens between them, and one of the girls was kind of like mousy and shy, and the other girl was like this it girl, but then the script flips because of the events that happened with their mentor professor. And years later, the girl who was mousy is now getting this Woman of the Year award, and the girl who was the it girl is insanely jealous, and she's gonna come up and ruin her life. It's giving the perfect ruin, but Darcy Bell scares me a little bit. Both of her two previous releases have been on my worst books of the year lists of their respective years, so we will see. Next up, I have a nonfiction, and that is When Rabbit Howls by the Troops for Trudy Chase. I guess Trudy Chase is the case study that's going to be talked about in this book. This is a nonfiction psychological book about some of the early research on DID, that stands for dissociative identity disorder. You might have heard it referred to as multiple personality disorder. I am a therapist, and in my practice, I use IFS, parts work, if you are familiar. And one of my clients really thought that this one would click with me, so I'm going to give it a try. And I know y'all mentioned that you want to hear a little bit about the books that I read for my practice on my channel, so I'm going to be reading this one this month. I also have the newest book in the You series. I think I'm the only person on the planet who is still keeping up with the Joe Goldberg series, but I absolutely love him. Okay, I just can't quit Joe. And that is For You and Only You. This is, I believe, the fourth book and the last book. And it is massive, but that's fine with me because I don't want to stop hanging out with Joe. And I'm happy that the TV show will continue. I love the TV show as well, but the books, there's just something about him. So we're going to be following Joe yet again as he is doing his stalker ways. I would say a little bit of the synopsis in here, but I don't want to spoil the series if you haven't read the books, because it does go in a slightly different direction than the show. And the last books in my TBR are all going to be horror. So if you want to hear about the extreme horror, the weird horror, the independently published horror that I randomly found in half-price books that nobody knows if it's going to be good or bad, stick around for these last few. Also, if you're sticking around, you're my people. I love you so much. Thanks for being my brand of weird. We're gonna start out with, okay, I don't know how this one's gonna go because the description, like even the description on the back, it's poorly written, I'll be real, but it just sucked me in. And that is Last One Alive by Christopher Ruffty. On the back, it's very, very brief, so I'll just read it to you. It says, "It was supposed to be a relaxing weekend away from the drab of regular life, but what it became was a fight for survival. Megan is pursued through dense mountain woodland by a psychopath she does not know, a relentless nightmare she cannot kill. No matter how she tries to stop him, he keeps coming back even stronger than before, chasing her deeper into the wild and into the clutches of a trio of despicable hillbillies who are sadistic on another scale. Lost in the woods, populated by pure evil all around, what hope does Megan really have?" I hope this reads like just a horrible B-movie, like slasher. That's all I'm really wanting from this. I'm not looking for a literary masterpiece. So when I read the back, I was like, I hope it serves me that. And I hope there's no weird like slurs and misogyny, which we can sometimes get in these kind of random horror books. Let's just say a quick prayer for me that I don't have to experience that. Similarly, I have Anybody Home by Michael J. Seidlinger. Y'all know I don't pronounce last names right, so just don't come for me. And I recently found out that the edition that I bought is signed, so that is very cool, and I hope that I like it. But this is basically a deep dive into home invasion horror, and that to me is the most horrifying thing. I am so scared. I always get nightmares when you think about home invasion, when I watch a home invasion horror movie, when I read about it, it's just the most terrifying thing to me. So I'm hoping this one is gonna scare the wits out of me. It's about this group of like elite home invaders who are training like the next generation. And the last sentence really hooked me. It says, anybody home points the camera lens onto the quiet suburbs and its unsuspecting abodes, any of which are potential stages for an invader, ambitious enough to make it the scene of the next big crime sensation. Who knows, their performance just might make the silver screen. What does that mean? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. Next up, I have Spider Sight by Tirza M.M. Hawkins. And this one was recommended to me by one of my patrons. She was reading it on sprints and it sounded really, really interesting. So I added it to my Amazon wish list. And then another sweet patron of mine who also has a channel, you should subscribe to her, Aspen, sent it to me for my birthday. Thank you so much, Aspen. And just listen to this. Another brief synopsis, but like, just listen. Have you met Fred? He's the imaginary friend of 5-year-old Missy. Missy insists to everyone that Fred is real. No one believes her until Fred starts doing horrible things. Missy seems like any other 5-year-old, except she believes that she sees spiders that no one else can. Her parents are only mildly worried because every 5-year-old has a big imagination, but bad things start happening wherever she goes. People start dying. Come along for this paranormal creature horror and you just might end up more afraid of spiders after you finish. I love creepy children. I love a creature feature. I love like the gaslighting trope. So hopefully this one works out. Aspen also sent over Talia, which has gotten so much hype across the internet. I cannot wait to get into this one. This is a very controversial extreme horror book. And we all know that I tend to have slightly controversial extreme horror opinions. So we will see. I will give you the real tea. But this is a book set in the 90s around the rising popularity of video cassettes that gave birth to a seedy underground world of illicit pornography. So it's giving snuff film. And Talia leaves home in search of fame on Broadway, but nothing could have prepared her for what she finds instead. Savage violence, bottomless depravity, and no way out. Talia will unapologetically drag you into a foul underbelly of society, a sanity-straining journey full of hot bloodshed and betrayal. Color me intrigued. So those are all the books that are on my radar for this upcoming month in June. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Do not forget to go down below and check out Book of the Month. Get your first book for $9.99 with code SPLASH. And let me know down below if there are any specific books that I featured in this video that you'd like to see a vlog on. I think I will probably be featuring those horror books in a vlog. They might not be that exact smattering of books, but I definitely want to do a horror vlog at some point in June for my birthday as like a little treat for myself. But let me know down below if there are any other of these books that you would want to see featured this month. I hope you got a couple cute little recommendations of books to add to your TBR from this video. Thank you again so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to go to therapy and read a book this week. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!